I was going to be doing a very different video this week. And after the events of yesterday, September 10th, just needed to call an audible. On a day when we should be remembering the tragedy that was the Twin Towers on 9/11, we are now as a people, globally even, looking at another tragedy. It's a whole other level of serious, depressing, and anger inspiring. Charlie Kirk is dead. One of the greatest conservative activists, especially for the younger generations, the late millennials and Gen Zers. Somebody that has been able to mobilize and spread conservatism on college campuses, which we all know is very heavily weighted towards the other side. He is able to do this through his charisma, his education, but most importantly, because he was willing to do something that no one else truly seems to be willing to do, at least on the scale on which he has engaged. And that's utilizing the First Amendment. Charlie Kirk doesn't go around necessarily attacking people, bashing people, name-calling, berating, demonizing the opposition. He engages in civil discourse. He doesn't scream. He rises to the level of energy of some of the challengers that come up to his microphone. I'm going to struggle with tenses here. But this man engaged in true democracy, true dialogue and discourse with the opposition in ways that if our Senate, if our Congress, and if our diplomats did this, this country would be a hell of a lot better off than it is. And he was killed in a demonic, cowardly assassination because somebody didn't like his beliefs. Any person that holds their core values, their God-given rights dear, and in relation to America specifically, their First Amendment, if anybody that holds their First Amendment rights dear should be terrified and furious. Because a man was just executed because he was engaging in civil discourse, and he just so happened to be speaking his own beliefs. I'm going to try really hard not to address the beliefs one way or another. If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, I think you know where we stand. This is a very dark time for this country because it's just the next de-evolution from civility and proper real politics, which have arguably been dead for decades, to just pure hatred of the opposition. Charlie Kirk was a human being. He lived his life by his beliefs. He called out what he thought was bullshit in the world. He had a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful children. And because he stood by his convictions and he wasn't afraid to put himself out there because no one else has, his wife is now a widow and his children have no father. They have no daddy to go home to at the end of the day. You're entitled to like or dislike any person out there. That is your right. There are plenty of people in my daily life that I do not like, that I would prefer not to be associated with. But you do not have the right to destroy life just because you disagree with somebody. America is beyond sick at this point. I don't want to be overly dramatic, but for a long time now, it has felt like we have passed the point of no return. It's going to take an act of God, an absolute miracle, for things to resolve peacefully in this country. In this world, really, if you look at global news right now, we have forgotten what it means to be human and to love our neighbor. I said it years ago, well before this channel was even looking at potentially ever being monetized. The solution to everything that is going wrong in this world is simply love thy neighbor. It's why I carry a gun. It's why I conceal carry. And there is an absolute lack of love. And it hurts and it angers me. And I know a lot of people that are beyond angry. There are people on both sides of the political spectrum right now that are absolutely furious with what just happened in Utah. It is setting a very dangerous precedent, and it's suggestive that it doesn't matter if you disagree with me, you're not safe. And that's not what this country was founded upon. For Charlie Kirk, a champion of the First Amendment, a champion of the Constitution, and a champion of America, for him to be savagely executed is one of the most anti-American things that I have experienced in my life. And that pisses me off. But what pisses me off more is this social media reaction that we are getting to experience in real time. On the one side, you have people, and I'm not talking about the people that are lamenting his death. What I'm talking about is you actually have a disgusting number of people on social media, and maybe it's just a very vocal minority given how massive and vast social media has become in the 21st century, but you have a disgusting number of people championing the killing of Charlie Kirk, saying that he deserved it, he reaped what he sowed, and that all conservatives need to disappear. But those same fucking people will turn around and call the people they want to disappear fascists. Wanting to snuff out the opposition in such a violent, extremist, and unconditional way is one of the definitions, one of the facets of fascism. On the other side, you have people that are playing what I'm now going to refer to as experts. Get it? Experts. We don't have the facts, and no person sitting at home has more information than the law enforcement officers. Now, I'm not saying that there is a cover-up. I'm not saying there isn't a cover-up. But the number of people that act like they know what they're talking about online, the keyboard warriors, as the fat electrician would say, it's just adding to the problem. And it also is calling out the problem. There is no faith left in this country in any news source. People have become skeptics to the extreme, where I argue that if Jesus Christ himself came down today and told us this is the way, accidental pun there, you would have people saying fake. That's not true. That's not Jesus. And it angers me. On one hand, I'm angered by the experts that really have no clue. But it angers me and saddens me that we've gotten to this point. The only people anybody trusts anymore is themselves. And that speaks volumes for what has been done for decades in this country. Mainstream media, reporters lying through their teeth, being manipulated by political powers for political gains through blackmail, whether apparent or not. This is a flashpoint in our history, or at least it should be. Free speech in this country is completely under attack. And it's not under attack in the way that mainstream media would say it is. We have been so divided, so turned against our neighbors, that if you said the sky is blue, you'd offend somebody. May we all have the same courage that Charlie Kirk had in life to speak with conviction about our beliefs, to lead other people on the path of righteousness, and to promote true American values in an increasingly dangerous and tone-deaf world. I pray to God that they catch the person who so savagely and cowardly took the life of a good man, a good patriot, somebody that actually cared about America and created something that was far bigger than himself out of virtue and love. I hope they find him and they bring him to justice. And I hope to God that the people that are celebrating his death see the light before it's too late. I hope to God against hope that this is not going to be politicized more than it already, by its very nature, has to be, from either side. And I hope to God that a greater good comes out of this horrific tragedy. Because at the end of the day, as I said at the beginning, a husband and father of two is dead. And those two little kids are never going to see their daddy again. Because some asshole didn't like the things he said. May God have mercy on our souls. May the founding fathers of this once great nation, and a nation that could be great again, may the founding fathers forgive us for squandering what we were given. I love you all. Be safe. Be vigilant. Hug your families tight. Keep a watchful eye over them. And may no harm come to you ever if you are speaking the truth.